Hello, I'm Munir. In this lesson, we want to look into Vlookup, that is short for vertical lookup, and each column you see here represents in vertical form. So we want to look up this data to give us a name. So the lookup value is what we have as the ID. So we have the ID number, but we don't know the name. So we want to be able to pull out the name using the ID. But first thing first, before you go ahead, please make sure you have your data in a table. So because once you add an additional staff, it will include the staff. So let's go to the last. We have about 1,000 staff. Okay. So coming down here, you see there's an additional. This is the last place it stopped. Okay. So if I decide to input another, let me just put E01234, right? Okay, E01234, that should be 0. Okay, now you see that it has included this row in the table, which is very, very important. But if you don't have it that way, you won't be able to have that information included in the table. It will be left out, and once you search or you try to look up, that information will not be included. So for that reason, we want us to always have the data in a table. Similarly, if I input another column here, let me just say let me say location. Okay, if I add like a location here, you see now that it will include, it has included that location. Okay, so it's very, very important for us to have that. So let's undo that. Okay, now once you have your data in a table, then the next thing is make sure what you are looking for is after the lookup value. For instance, if you have another column before A, let's say for instance, okay, this is our lookup value. Let's say we want to look up for Emily Davis, and once we look up for Emily Davis, we want Emily Davis to give us a ID number. We want to get an ID number by looking up with Emily Davis. It won't work because it will only pick from the front. It will only pick from the front. So any lookup value you think you want to make use of, make sure you have them at the first column here. Make sure you have those values at the first column. That's the limitation of Vlookup. So you have to make sure they are at the first column. So that is when it will function properly. Okay, and another thing is, if you don't have them arranged, you can still arrange them maybe in an ascending order or descending order. Okay, so now let's go to the Vlookup. So now we want to look up, we have a number, let's say we want to look up this number, this E03680. So we have it with us, but we don't know the name of the employee. So we want to use this number to identify the name of the employee. So how do we go about that? So we'll click on this place where we want to see the results. This is where we want to see the results. So we put inside the formula. So we have equal to Vlookup. You have it here already. So double click. Once you double click, it will. So now the lookup value. So since you already have a format here, this is where I want to insert the lookup value here. So my lookup value, I can select R2. So I'll select this as my lookup value. This is where I'm going to input all the IDs so that it generates for me the names that I will need in R3. Okay, so after that you put comma. Now the table array. Now the table array, you can see from A here down to the last of C. This is the table we want to actually look into. that is where we want to get our information from. That's the meaning of the table array. So you can drag on that, then you drag down, okay, or if you have the value, you can just the cell reference. Now once I drag down, I leave, okay. Now that is the table array, okay, then comma. So we have this information now. Then the next one is the column index number. Once we input the ID number, what do we expect to the results? Where do we want to see the results from? So is in column 2. So we have the first column here is 1, this is the second column B, which is the second column 2. So we want to see the name. So I'll put 2, then comma, then the range lookup, it should be false. We want an exact match. I'm going to do another video on how to explain true and false on Vlookup. So I'm going to select false. Okay, excuse me. So I have it there as false. Okay. Okay, false. Right. Then once I have that, I close the brackets. Okay. No, it should be okay. Sorry. Now I have that, so I click on enter. Okay, now there is no information available here, so I have to input the information first before it can give me the result. So we say we are looking for E033680. Okay, so I can type that since I have it with me. E033680. So I click on enter. Now you see the name is Elias Alvarado, right? So we can do similar for other. So let's check for 2832. 2832, can double click on that. So E0282832. So now you see the name is Penelope Jordan. So and that's what we have here. So that is how Vlookup works. So with this, you can be able to look up a particular data or information from thousands of information that you have, or hundreds of information that you have. A quick one to make sure you have those results. You just make sure you input these formulas correctly, then have them the lookup value, which is this E02832, should be at the first column. That's what you are looking for. Okay, then the formula goes there. So with this, I think we are able to make use of Vlookup. See you guys in my next class, and have a wonderful day. Bye.